Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another retro RPG. And at the end of another week and the end of another poll, we've got another winner. And with a solid win for the Alternity Player's Handbook. Now, as I mentioned last week, I did the Alternity box set earlier this year and really liked it. So it's a joy to return to the game. Anyway, I'll be back with some more about the poll and other channel related stuff at the end of the video. So I hope to see you there. But otherwise, let's have a look at Alternity. So, this is the Alternity Player's Handbook. Now, this came out in 1998 alongside the introductory box set, which I've covered previously, alongside the Game Master's Guide, which is a companion book to this, in the same way the Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide are for Dungeons & Dragons. They also brought out a fast play system, which was a different type of introductory set of rules, a simplified version. And they seem to have been very, very keen on getting people into this rule set. And having covered the introductory box before, I can see why. There's a lot of interesting ideas in here. Now, it's a generic rule system for science fiction role-playing. It doesn't come with a setting of its own, although it does have some standard races and things in here. But they did bring out the Star Drive setting, or Star and then asterisk Drive setting. A rather weird name. I'll put a caption up on the screen to show you how it was written. There was Dark Matter, which is a sort of X-Files science fiction-y background. They brought out Gamma World under these rules, the wonderful post-apocalyptic role-playing game with mutated animals and plants after humanity's destroyed itself. Fantastic game. I'm not quite sure how well the Alternity rules covered it. And they also had a StarCraft Adventures, another simplified version of the rules, but covering the StarCraft universe, the science fiction variant of Warcraft, which I think most people have heard of. So they were heavily investing in this system. Now, it's from TSR, and as we know, in 1999, Wizards of the Coast took control of TSR after basically it went into financial difficulties. So Wizards of the Coast ended up retiring Alternity in 2000. And a lot of the ideas out of it, though, were incorporated into the D20 Future system, which I've covered previously on the channel, and I'm a big fan of. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But let's have a look at the back of the box. Alternity, Player's Handbook by Bill Slavicsek and Richard Baker. Well, Bill Slavicsek is a fantastic author who was responsible for much of the Star Wars D6 system, a system which I still run to this day and is perhaps my favorite published role-playing game because the rules are just so darn simple. They get out of your way and let you get on with having adventures, telling your story, having a fun game. They are the high point of rules to me because you don't have to open the rulebook very often. In fact, entire sessions can go by without you reaching for the rulebook, just running it, rolling dice. Anyway, you're an explorer commanding the newest starship in the fleet, or a brilliant scientist seeking a cure for a deadly alien virus, or a battle-weary space marine fighting to protect the galaxy, or any other SF hero you can imagine. Experience the future one adventure at a time. This role-playing game provides a framework for all kinds of contemporary to far-future science fiction adventures. The Player's Handbook, companion volume to the Alternity Game Master Guide, contains everything players need to create SF heroes and play the Alternity game, including an easy-to-learn game system designed around a unique dice mechanic, a fast-play chapter that teaches the basics and quickly gets you into the action, rules for generating a wide variety of unique heroes, including 5 alien hero species, many distinct character professions and careers that allow you to further refine and define your character, from bounty hunters to computer hackers, starship pilots to interplanetary traders. Simple yet wide-ranging rules presented in a format that lets you add levels of complexity as desired. Optional rules for mutants, psionics, and cybernetics. Plenty of equipment covering a variety of technological levels, computers, vehicles, starships, armor, weapons, and assorted gear. A compilation of tables and forms that players need, plus a comprehensive index. So inside, we can see it's late 90s publishing standards, but very, very high. Now, desktop publishing had come in by this stage, and the books were looking excellent. Lots of lovely line art. They're very finely presented pages. Got the introductory section here. Some absolutely great artwork throughout. Talking about how to use this book. It's all about fun, which is so core to a role-playing game. I've actually been having conversations the last day or so about that being absolutely core. A role-playing game is a game. It's supposed to be fun. We've got the fast play rules. So going through the player's role, key concepts, your profession, name, ability scores, action check, just creating your heroes, durabilities, skills, rolling dice, the equipment you've got, the step scale, so you're rolling different amounts of dice against target numbers depending on whether you're getting a bonus or a penalty. Going through damage and recovery, and then we've got sample characters. So we've got a couple of combat specialist type characters here you can choose from. Different diplomats, free agents, tech ops. So there's 8 sample characters there out of 4 types of professions. So if you've got a couple of players wanting to be the combat guy, there's options there. One's got a career of soldier, one's got a career of space hand. The diplomats, one's an entertainer, one's a trader. Different spins on the same professions to allow you to start with something a bit more customized than just very generic template. Got hero creation, so we've got character creation section, talking about the concepts, choosing your species, your careers. So we've got the different species here: the Fral, the Mechalus, the Satian, Tsar, Weren, which appear to be sort of werewolf type creatures. Then we're on to choosing up humans. How could I forget them? I am one. Choose a career. Pick a profession. So we've got combat specialists, diplomats, free agents, tech ops. We've got assigning your ability scores. So we've got strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, willpower, and personality. Buying your skills. Perks and flaws. So we're into the stage where you're not just creating a basic character, you're adding perks and flaws to flesh out your character and start off with advantages or disadvantages. Complete your hero sheet. Armor, personal data, and then it says you're done. We've got heroes and actions. So it's going through how to do the game itself, the game environment. Campaigns, adventures, types of scenes, rolling dice, performing actions, the damage section. So you've got wound damage and fatigue damage. Recovering from that, combat actions, different things you can do. So whether you're operating in zero gravity, aiming, attacking with 2 weapons, throwing grenades, holding your breath, and various other combat related rules. So impact damage, surprise, last resort points, so your sort of hero points. Then we're on to the skills section, talking about doing character versus character, trained or untrained. Then we've got the strength skills, big skill lists here. We go through different types of armor, athletic skills, which have climbing, jumping, and throwing. Melee weapon skills, unarmed, dexterity skills, acrobatics. What else we got? Ranged weapons, modern, ranged weapons, primitive, and lots of skills within them. So stealth is the general skill, and we've got hide, shadow, and sneak within. Vehicle operation, and we're on to constitution skills, intelligence skills. Lots of intelligence-based skills in, of course. Then we've got willpower skills. and then your personality skills, which should take us to the end of the skills section. And then we're on to the perk and flaws. So you can have things like alien artifacts, ambidextrous, animal friend, you're a celebrity, you're capable of concentration, you've got danger sense, faith, you're filthy rich, fists of iron, etc., etc. Just all the things you might want to customize your character. Do we have a list of the disadvantages as well? The flaws. So, bad luck, clueless, clumsy, you've got a code of honor, you're delicate, you're oblivious to stuff, obsessed, you've got a temper. These are all fairly standard, but all nice to have in there. We've got sample careers. So, as well as the overarching template you've chosen, you can be a bodyguard or a corporate security specialist, a gunner, a law enforcer, a mercenary, a soldier. Diplomat careers, you can be an ambassador, a cleric, an entertainer. Free agent careers, you can be explorer, a gambler. Tech ops, you can be a doctor or a scientist or a scholar or a hacker. We go through the attributes in more detail. Achievements, so the skill system. Then we're on to the equipment section. And one of the things I really like about this is the way it's laid out. So we've got progress levels, because obviously it's a science fiction game, so you might be visiting planets which are very primitive. So, like in the Star Wars universe, they go to Endor, and the Ewoks are virtually Stone Age creatures. But they could be going to Coruscant, which is an energy age or far future or whatever. And the way these are laid out, so we've got access to the various tech levels, or progress levels as they're called in this. So we've got the equipment laid out, so you can get a coat at tech level 1, or progress level 1. I keep calling them tech levels because that's a far more standard term. But communication gears aren't available until progress level 7. And the way it lays it out, you can instantly see what's available at the different progress levels. So depending on what planet you're on, you can get access to different types of sensors, professional equipment, etc., etc. Different types of survival gear. I really like it. It's useful because you can see at a glance what's available. We've got medical equipment here, and then we're on to computers. It goes through them in progress level. So progress level 5, these are available. Progress level 6, these become available. Progress level 7, these become available. You got access to different types of computers. So a desktop computer is available at progress level 5, but a data slate, basically a tablet, isn't available at progress level 6. And you've got a suit with built-in technology, gauntlets, etc., available at higher levels, where the computer more interfaces with you on a more personal level. And we've got computer programs and the progress levels they're available at. Obviously, computers being a large chunk of the game, because by 1998, we all were heading towards online. We've got different types of robots and starship computers, and then we've got weapons and armor. Now, this is the absolute perfection of the system, where you can see the progress levels and what weapons are available upwards, and it lays them out section by section. So the most basic weapons, progress level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it goes through them. So you've got melee weapons, you've got ranged weapons, so the most basic bows up to energy age maser pistols. We've got nice illustrations of the different types of weapons here. We've got heavy weapons laid out as well. And I said some very nice illustrations throughout. Different types of armor. So wearing hide is available from Stone Age, but you can get ablative harnesses, body tanks, displacer soft suits, etc. Really high-tech equipment at the higher progress levels. And we go on to the vehicles, which likewise are laid out extremely usefully with the progress levels. So you can see space fighters are available at the energy age, but obviously in Stone Age you're going to be lucky if you get a canoe or a raft. Really nicely laid out and really useful. This is an absolute art of presentation. I really put this down to Bill Slavicsek and his experience with the Star Wars role-playing game, because it was a bit of a mess when it came to finding things. But this is just absolutely beautiful. Got different types of damage to the vehicles, what starships, communication stations, weapons compartments, cargo compartments. Not done quite as well as D20 Modern in creating starships. It's not as comprehensive a system, but it's in there, it's quite nice. And then we've got some alternate sections, or alternate rules. So you can have mutants, and it goes through different types of mutations you can get to have those in your heroes, or even villains, I suppose. We flip through that. We've got psionics, so if your universe has psionic powers, we've got a section which goes through that. Mindwalkers, as they're called. Flip through that, and then we've got cybernetics and cybertech. Something looking very cyberpunk 2020, with ports grafted into his head, etc. I really like the illustration showing where different parts would get attached. I've always been keen on those kind of diagrams, and different progress levels and when they become available. Absolutely great. Lovely artwork, as I've been saying. We go through those, and then we've got a few pages of tables and a lovely index to help you find stuff at the end. We then come to the game supplemental hero sheet with all the extra stuff, if you are including psionics, mutations and cybertech, but the basic 2-page hero sheet here with your attributes and a vast list of skills on the back. So that is on the Alternity Player's Handbook. Very nicely laid out, very nice ideas in there, and absolute success as far as I'm concerned, and a real sadness that it faded away, abandoned after only 2 years. So that was the Alternity Player's Handbook, and it won with some 29% of the vote. Now in second place, rather surprisingly, came Acute Paranoia, because it had been languishing in joint third place, along with the Inquisitor's Handbook and Dark Tech, behind the Warhammer Companion book. But in the last couple of days it jumped ahead. It went up to 24%. If the poll had gone up much longer, I think it might have won. So let's see how that does in the coming week. But with Alternity out of the poll, I'm replacing it with the Sovereign Stone game system. Now this is a role-playing game which came out in 1999 and was by a number of ex-TSR and ex-Games Designers Workshop staff, with Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss, who created Dragonlance, doing the bulk of the creation on it, writing novels and creating the background, all based on ideas by the absolutely astoundingly good artist Larry Elmore. So there's a large amount of pedigree in there. So I'll be interested to see how that does, whether you want to have a look at that book. But I don't really have anything else to say, and I've whittled on for quite long enough as usual. So thank you very much for watching. But most of all, as always, you look after yourselves. I'll catch you later. Bye now.